uh, so the other part, when we talk about kind of degree paths, I know that some things have changed, and you kind of hit on it, where you can't be boxed in or set on one path. You have to really be flexible with what you're doing. But have you seen any trends in degrees coming out of this past year, or is there a shift in what we're looking at as far as education goes, and what that might look like for the future?
So one, I think it's important that colleges and universities have to keep the realization that they're here for a purpose. They're here for workforce generation. Yes, academia, and yes, to further it, but really, if you pull all that back, we're workforce generators. That's what a university does. It builds a professional workforce for the community. So we have to look at, what does the community that we're in need? And Dr. McCormick, I mean, the guy is just incredible. He is very in tune to that. He keeps a finger on the pulse of our community pretty well, as to what is needed. So we 40 plus majors out of a school our size. That's remarkable. Mm-hmm. But we've gone a step further than that and started offering certificate programs. So the certificate programs are, those they got laid off from a job and need to start a new life. We talked about the 5, 6, 7 careers, yeah. But don't have the 4 years to invest in a bachelor's degree. Certificate program, the medical coding, the programming and different computer skills, those types of programs. We started offering them. We've just teamed up with a group called Podium that is going to add, similar to a minor or like a learning community. You could be a history major, but get certified in JavaScript, or certified in digital marketing, just to further strengthen that resume and strengthen you as a competitor for those jobs. So I'm really proud of Schreiner, not just being the liberal arts school that says, okay, you're a history major, you're a business major, but look at, how do we really set these kids up for success after they walk the stage? And honestly, it's getting to the point where the college degree is just not enough. You need that extra bullet on your resume. And I think our school's doing a good job of keeping that. The main 4 degrees that tend to rise to the top are, of course, nursing. Our nursing program is incredibly good. This is the 3rd year in a row since I've been here, 3rd year in a row that we've been in top 10 in Texas for nursing programs, several times in top 5 and top 3 even.
Nice.
Our psychology degree is a pretty popular one. Accounting and other business kind of all lumped together in there. And then lastly, we've been seeing a pretty good rise in all of the STEM field. So all of the sciences, technology, engineering, mathematics, we've been seeing a pretty good increase with those. I think with Killdeer coming in town, we'll see even more of the engineering piece taking hold and starting to move, and that, I got a feeling it'll start climbing up that list.
Yeah, and it's really cool to know that you have created some incredible programs, specifically the certification programs that will really allow our community to retain your students that are coming out. When I think about what you talked about with Mr. McCormick, really looking at what the community needs, that's kind of an essential part of what we do as well, making sure that we're retaining and we don't have that quote unquote brain drain that you hear a lot in other communities. So we're starting to see that. We've started to see the shift in our demographic as far as who people are, who's coming into our community, who's staying. And I know that that is so a part of, because of what Schreiner has been doing. And I have been very familiar with the nursing program as far as Schreiner University goes, and I know that that plays into a part with your relationship with Peterson. But
and Hill Country Memorial.
Yeah.
Both of those relationships are very strong, and they lean on us to keep them manned, and we depend on them for clinicals and those partnerships to help train the students in the whole accreditation thing. But yeah, it's a great relationship that they have. And even with the COVID vaccines, our nursing students, if you remember, they were calling for, it was a time they were calling for nursing students that haven't graduated yet but are trained up to a certain point. And our nursing students raised their hand and went to, the last one, they went to Fredericksburg in Gillespie County and administered over 500 vaccinations over a weekend to
wow,
that community. So they're highly involved in the community. And every one of them, it's we talked about being that workforce generator, and I hate to be going on different tangents, but it's reminding me of things as we talk. The majority of our graduates stay here. As we train and educate these students, the majority of them stay right here in the Hill Country, and the ones that go off to try their feet in the big city water generally come back. So approximately 60% of our students are coming from this local area of a 53-mile radius, and the majority of them graduate and stay right here. So yeah, we're definitely a strong economic part of building the community and training them with those majors and staying relevant, staying current is a big part of that.
Well, yeah, and you're not going off on tangents and workforce development and upskilling and reskilling and all of these wonderful things that we're talking about.
Just felt like I was bouncing around all over the place there.
Oh no, but that's part of my it's part of my job that I love so much, getting to work with the different entities to look at what our workforce is, what are the trends, what gaps needs to be filled. Again, it's part of the whole side of business retention and expansion, right? If you're not able to provide a workforce for the community, then we're not doing what we need to be able to do within the community to not only sustain our businesses, but look at being able to recruit new ones like Kildare Mountain Manufacturing. And so you guys are an absolute essential part of everything that we do in the economic development world. And I love seeing everything that's coming out of Schreiner University. And that kind of brings me to the next thing, which is the College of Distinction Awards. And I'm not really familiar with them, but I'm sure that is all, I'd like for you to talk a little bit about that, because I know that stems from everything that you are doing. And I think that there's even individual distinctions within that collective award. So
Colleges of Distinction, they started in 2000. So they're 21-ish years old. And the whole goal of them was, if you've ever walked the muddied waters of college, deciding on which college is best, and it's murky out there. So the whole goal of Colleges of Distinction was to help students and help parents tread those waters, the overwhelming process of trying to select the right school, and not just the right school for them, but the best person for the school. So it's both ways. They work for the school and they work for the students and parents. But what they do is they send an advisory group out to the different colleges and universities across the country, and they talk to thousands of students and teachers and graduates and administrators, and they look for basically four overreaching distinctions to make that school a college of distinction. Student engagement, teaching, community, and outcomes. So they spent roughly a week down here with us, and it's like going through an audit. I mean, they go through everything. And we were recognized as a College of Distinction back in 2019, and been one since. And it was purely because of our commitment to our undergraduate experience. We currently have the badges that they give us badges that we can use on different publicity items. So if you hear me refer to badges, that's what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. So currently, we have the 2021 College of Distinction badge, the 2021 Texas, 2021 Christian School, and our programs that received designation were business, education, nursing, career services, veteran-friendly institution, and diversity and inclusion. So all in all, it's like 9 different badges that we have from colleges of distinction. So it's a great honor to be recognized. As I tell Dr. McCormick often, we're doing the right things, and eventually, when you do the right things long enough, people are going to start taking note, regardless of your size. We'll never compete with the Harvards or the Browns, but if we keep doing the right thing and doing it well, people are going to start to notice, and they have. So I'm excited about it. I like it. I like when we get the accolades and the ticker tape parades. So that's colleges of distinction. And actually, even a step more than that, even U.S. News and World Report, Kiplinger's, the Princeton Review, those are the big 3 across the country, and even some of them worldwide, that judge and rank colleges and universities every year on a plethora of different categories. The one that I'm probably the most excited about is, for the last 2 years, we have made U.S. News and World Report's top 10 for social mobility. And if you don't know what social mobility is, that's improving the social status of a family from one generation to the next. So a great example of it is a first-generation college student. So you may have a lower middle class or even in poverty family, and the child goes to school, gets the great job, and moves that family up to that next rung of the ladder, or 2 rungs, whatever, and changes the direction of that lineage forever. And Schreiner has been recognized, like I said, for doing that. And we have a majority of our students are first generation students, and to see the change that takes place as they graduate or come back as alums, it warms your heart. It's a cool thing.
Yeah, I can't think of a better thing to be recognized for. You're not just looking,
job,
right? You're not just looking at one person. You're looking at the dynamic and the impact that it has socially across multiple generations in their family. And it gives me goosebumps. I just absolutely love that. And I think these accolades and the distinction awards, these are wonderful ways to show how Schreiner University is successful. And I love that. I love when we get recognition, not just as a community, but for specific entities within our community. We have some just really prestigious awards that are given to you, to Peterson, amongst others within our community. And it says a lot about the people that are involved in that and the community as a whole. I want to ask you.
It's like I said, when you do something right and you do it well, you'll get noticed for it. You never do things for the award. you do things right, do them well, and the awards will come to you.
Yes. Yep. I agree with that. It's definitely about intent, and it shows with the work that you guys are doing. So I wanted to ask you what, here we've talked a lot about success, but I want to ask you kind of maybe personally and professionally, how do you define success in your life?
So we talked a little bit before we came online about home and life balance, and home and work balance. I'm sorry. That's really how I judge success. That proper balance of home life, family life, and work life. You gotta work hard and you gotta play hard. And if there's not that equal line in there somewhere, I question the success. You know me, Teresa. I give 110% to my job and my position and to this school. I bleed maroon. I'm a mountaineer forever. And I hold extremely high standards for my performance. But on that same note, fostering a healthy family and having a good home life, a good marriage if you're married, children, a good relationship, grandchildren, friends. If you don't have those, how successful are you? I question being good at your job and striving for success. I question if that's really success if you have a home life that's in shambles or non-existent. So that may not be everybody's answer to it. That's my answer, and it has nothing to do with the amount of money in the bank or cars you drive or the size of a house. None of that matters to me success-wise. It's all about what you've done, how well you've done it, and how well you've taken care of those around you that you care about.
Well, and I definitely think that was amplified, and we saw firsthand how important that home and those relationships were in 2020, when we were, forced to disconnect from a lot of those people that mean a lot to us, and we were hunkered down in our homes. I think it gave us a new perspective on maybe how to keep that balance, how to work on those relationships. Those were obviously, it was challenging, but I couldn't agree more. When you're looking at your quality of life, that balance is definitely a definition of success. So I think
working from home though, remotely, even my dog was ready for me to get out of the house. So I don't know if that was too conducive to building that good home life or not.
Oh, I don't know. Our dogs had a hard time adjusting when we would leave them all day long after being with them for so long. So I don't know. Well,
I think my dog thought I was unemployed.
Yeah, isn't it nice? Sometimes I look at my dogs and I think, yeah, I wouldn't mind just laying around, and then I remember 2020 and think, no, I'm okay with with getting out and doing some things, and so lots of really great things that you guys are doing, and we've talked about success, and now I want one more question, and that is, what inspires you? And it may kind of tie back into success, but I think we all derive inspiration from our unique things. And so what is yours, Toby?
So there's so many people that inspire me. That list is long. I was given a little gold nugget by an old sergeant major back when I was a young soldier. He once told me that everybody you meet, you need to pick something up from them. Positive or negative, everybody you meet, you pick something up and find a spot in your box for what they have. And it took me several years to really digest what the wisdom that he was sending down. But that's what I try to do today. Everybody I meet, I look at their traits and their character, their skill sets, whatever it may be, and try to pick something that I think, man, I wish I could do that as well as they do, or I really like how they do that, and work on it from there. Like we said earlier, you should always be trying to improve yourself. You should always be trying to, not just educational, but just everything. You should always be improving. And literally there's what inspires me, literally there's inspiration everywhere and in everyone. So that's what I do. That's how I inspire myself, by looking at others and seeing ways that I can use what they have to improve me.
And I love that answer, because you're not just relying on one thing for inspiration on a daily basis. You're getting that from all of the people that are around you. And it's one of the things that I love about my job, especially when I get to do podcasts and talk to people, because it re-energizes me and it gives me new perspectives on things. I'm constantly learning from the people that are around me. And you've definitely been a person that has inspired me over the course of the time that I've known you. And I've just had such a great time interacting with you on any occasion that we've had that opportunity. And I want to know one fun fact, though. Fun fact about you, or fun fact about Schreiner University that somebody may not know. I think there has to be one out there.
Okay, I'm not going to give you one about me. We'll save that for another podcast. I'll tell you a couple things about Schreiner that some people may not know. One, I mentioned it earlier when we were talking about the Trailhead Beer Garden. Our west side of campus was originally, we were built in 1923 as a military school for boys. But the west side of campus was originally the Presbytery of West Texas Westminster encampment. They ended up, so it was a camp, and they ended up buying some property out in Hunt, Texas, and became what's now known as Mo Ranch. So originally, Mo Ranch and Schreiner University were one and the same. So that's number one. And matter of fact, the Lewis Pavilion, the outdoor pavilion, and the Trailhead Beer Garden are the two remaining buildings from the Westminster encampment. So that's number one. That's pretty cool.
That is very cool.
Number two, quickly, we were the first and only school of any size in the state of Texas to offer a inclusive fixed tuition. So what that means is a student comes to Schreiner, what they pay the first day of their freshman year is what they're going to pay the last day of their senior year. Their tuition won't go up. That's unheard of in college world. That's how they make their bottom line is tuition. They can increase tuition to make that red number turn black, and we won't do that. Also, the inclusive piece, books are covered. A student will never buy books here. Laundry is covered. You'll never carry the Crown Royal bags full of quarters across campus to do laundry. No parking fees, no lab fees. We offer supplemental health insurance for all of our students for free.
Wow.
There's a clinic on campus that they can go to for free. It's long, but the only and first school in Texas to offer that. And again, that goes back to Dr. McCormick's vision and insane wisdom to come up with these ideas that are unheard of for schools our size, and make them work well to benefit those students. And third thing, Delaney Hall is haunted.
That, I think that definitely is a different podcast. I think we could have a whole nother conversation about that. In fact, I think we do need to have that. I'm a little intrigued by that.
Like a Halloween podcast. We can go like do a ghost hunt over there or something.
Sure. Yeah, I like it. I love that idea. Yeah. Well, I think you guys have, when I look at all of that, that the second one, not the haunted building, but you've really created an environment where you have erased all of the obstacles that might keep these students from being focused on their task at hand and what they really need to be focused on. So I just have to commend you again. And I know it's a group effort. There may be wonderful ideas that are coming out from different places, but you guys as a complete staff, as a campus, are just really phenomenal at implementing all of those ideas, and obviously care such a great deal about the people that are on your campus and our community at large. So I want to say thank you on behalf of the community, humbly, if I can do that, for our organization. And thank you, Toby, for your service too, for our country. So I don't think I've had the opportunity to say that to you before. And it's
okay. That was a lifetime ago.
Oh, that's okay. Even if it was a lifetime ago, it was still service, and we appreciate that. So
that's where the words start going up the screen in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah. I love it. Well, Toby.
Yeah, so I appreciate that, Teresa. Thank you. And, just like it says in our mission statement here at Schreiner, what we do, we get these students ready for meaningful work and purposeful lives in an ever-changing global society. And those aren't just words on a piece of paper to us. We take that to heart, and we are truly preparing the next generation of leaders and inventors and entrepreneurs. Looking at some of these students, I think we're in pretty good hands.
Absolutely, and you can definitely tell by each of you and in our conversation that those aren't just words, that you are absolutely acting on that and living by it for what you do for the students. So thanks again, Toby. And this has been a great conversation. And I'll think about another podcast that we can do about Schreiner University and
ghosts.
Ghosts.
Teresa, thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor and a pleasure to spend the morning with you. And it's always a pleasure to spend time with you, my friend.
Likewise, Toby, I really appreciate you and look forward to seeing you and talking to you again soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks.
We'll see you.
Bye.